Alright, on to the next tournament. Start here, 6-5, get defended. He leads, we fold. Next hand. Defend. We check, which when we're building a strategy on leading, I probably like leading here, but it sets us up to lose the max as well if he has a bigger ace than us. So check calling is probably ideal. We lead. He raises. This is an interesting spot. Actually, I'm glad this came up. This hand, he is acting. The only thing that he is repping for value right now is 2-pair or better. And in order for him to have 2-pair, it has to be like an 8-deuce. Like an 8-deuce. Because I think he c-bets a 10, he's c-betting his aces, he's c-betting his flush draws. He's probably checking back like queen jack. Actually, if I were to like soul read him right now and put him on like an exact hand, I would say he's got queen jack with a diamond in his hand. But a lot of times this is exactly what that is a combo draw. It's a big draw. It's rarely for value. We have the best hand a ton. So even though it seems crazy, and I really hope I do it because this was a long time ago, but I really hope you should come over. I should come over the top here, almost always, and be willing to get it in. And like I said, flush draws are c-betting the flop. An ace is c-betting the flop. Nobody's pot controlling an ace on that board. And this is almost always a flush draw or combo draw of some sorts. And again, like I mean, it's possibly as 2-pair or return to set or something, but that's a risk I'm almost always willing to take. So hopefully, I came over the top. I guess that's sizing. Sizing. I can't. This is the replayer makes it tough to see if I like my sizing until after he calls. So I got a pot size bet behind. I like making it bigger. That was a little too small. I should have made. And now looking at stack sizes and everything, I have like a pot size bet behind. I should have made it like 540 or something. The king obviously hits that queen jack range that I just soul read him on, so hopefully he doesn't have that and he just has like a jack of 9 with a diamond. That would be better. But now this is also a toss up because shoving here really narrows his calling range down to a king or a 10, and I don't think he has a 10. So he'd have to have like the king of diamonds here for him to even consider calling a shove. A lot of his range, as I said, is going to be a lot of combo draws that missed. So we can check call a lot on this river. I'm okay with either of them. What would actually be, actually I hadn't considered, and the kind of mood I've been in this session, I might bet something like really fishy, like 140, and then now you're getting your value. I mean, a little bit of value from a king, and you're also getting him to spaz off with a busted draw. So that would be another option. In this case, I check, and I'm calling pretty much everything, and he checks behind. Hopefully, we see his hand, and he's got jack 8. So that just makes me look like a fool. But like I said, he is rarely ever going to have us beat on that turn. That stands true. The raise on the turn is frequently the combo draw. I guess it's also, yeah, that makes sense as well. I forgot to talk about that situation. If he hits a pair and he thinks I'm betting a draw and he wants to get the maximum value from an 8. That sizing, though, didn't look, I mean, usually it's a lot smaller sizing than that, but I still stand by my read on the turn. Alright, raise calls. We hit bottom pair, he checks, we check, whatever. It's kind of a wet board, so yeah. Check, and just get the showdown. And he wins with whatever. Next hand. Raise, defend, check, call, check. So we can assume we have the best hand a majority of the time here. Betting allows us. Betting if we're planning on check calling the river, and then we can bet in case he's got like a 2 or something. I'm not necessarily a fan of that, but I don't hate it either. Raise, 3-bet. I would just shove because we've seen how wide he's we've seen how wide he's willing to call off his stack. We saw the pocket threes where he 3-bet called off 30 bigs. We saw him limp call off 20 bigs with ace 5. So I definitely think shoving is the only option here. And we shove, and he calls, and he has 7s. Okay. Oh, well, that's the end of that tournament. Let's go ahead and fire up another one. That was a little quick. And we're firing up another one. Start with a 3-6, get 3-bet, fold. Next hand. He limps. That's something we haven't seen yet. Probably just not fucks around with that. Alright, next hand. Defend, lead. Leading obviously good for the same reason as in the first few minutes of the video on the Queen Jack of Hearts flop. He's just going to hopefully fold a ton of his 2-under type hands. We've also got a gut shot, and we want to keep that donk rain lead thing going. Ironically, he makes it 160 again, as he did earlier in the session on this type of flop. So keeps that up. Not raising there. Interesting. Probably fold that. Keeping it going. Checks, bet, fold. Next hand. Alright, so I don't always 3-bet in these situations. A hand like this, I like to keep a lot of his dominated hands in there, and it's disguised. I do 3-bet this frequently. Don't always 3-bet. And man, this guy's, his sizing is pretty bad in these spots. He's consistently making it that 160 now. Fold. We're defending the queen 6. Check, check, check. Probably check call, and just hopefully win it showdown. Nope. Haven't had anything interesting yet. Checks. That's 30. This sizing here is going to induce a lot of check raises, which is not a terrible thing, but you got to be very careful on your. See, in the moment, early on in the session, I likely was not making this bet, because when you induce a check raise in this spot, you have to really be spot on with your reads for the rest of the hand. And know what he's doing. If he hits, say he's got 2 overs, and what he does when he hits an over, or say what he does with a flush draw when it gets there, or his air, or if he's check raising a 9. So I assume at this point in the session that I was playing with him, I had hopefully a good feel of what I would do in these situations if he were to check raise me, which clearly he does. And so now I'm going to try and piece together what I was thinking back then, because this is one of those in-the-moment situations that right now, just thinking about it independently is really tough to make some reads. I actually like that. All right, so now we've done this little gay bet that hopefully we're trying to induce him to get it in with 2 overs, or maybe he will get it in with pocket 5s or something, just because it looks so full of shit. And he just folds. That is actually what I just did. That's a pretty good counter to what I said about so many bad turns coming. We bet. I like it. Okay, now I know it. Okay, that makes sense. So I bet 30 to induce the check raise, which, like I said, the check raise was probably coming a lot when you bet 30, and I wanted to come over the top again. I wasn't going to let him just barrel it off. So I don't mind that. And this guy has shown that this isn't just, you know, narrowing him to the top of his range and then I'm getting owned when he shoves. This guy's perfectly capable of getting it in way behind there. Okay, next hand. Fold. Oh, next. I really wish I had a better replayer. I'll work on that. This is slowing us down a little bit. All right. And we lead. Again, we've established a leading range, and we know that his sizing is terrible when he raises these flops, and he doesn't give us credit for anything when we lead. So, shocker, he He does that. We've been waiting for this. And the question is, do I call or do I come over the top? Likely I call because he doesn't really have much. Okay, but I do this as well because I just want I want him to when I make it this size, I'm looking for him to get it in with pretty much his entire perceived value range, like any four, any pocket pair, any flush draw, and then he can also spaz it off. Another option that I was considering as this hand played out was flatting the raise and then leading the turn. But if a diamond comes, then it might shut him down, and I think he's more likely to spaz to this bet than the other one, and he just folds. But as you've noticed, we've gotten him twice now in this match with these really small raises. Three bets. I don't always call here. He's three betting so wide that I mean I pretty much have to hit an ace here. I'm gonna play a guessing game. I guess if that flop comes, then I can just be a station, which I have a feeling that I'm gonna be a station. Oh yeah, it's one of these hands again. It's that ace 10 hand all over again. If I call flop and turn, I don't see myself folding the river. Yeah, it's stupid. I'm not a fan. Those ace high call downs are not something that I like in this session. I haven't seen anything that really justifies that. I would rather fold pre-flop. And all right, well, shit, we got like, all right, let's get through all this shit. No. Yeah, this is. Oh, geez. Do we come back? Let's see. 5-8. 3. Jam. I'm trying to skip all the fucking Nash shit and weird metagame here. Do we call that? No, jam. Oh, we doubled up here. Sure, I'll give you guys a sweat. Boom, boom. Alright, look at that. This is not... Alright, raise, shoves, okay. Raise, shove. And again, he is capable of calling way too wide in this spot, so when I'm reshoving 20 bigs, it's almost always for value. He doesn't call. Limp. He's obviously been shoving pretty frequently over opens, so I like limping hands that can stand to call a raise or... Okay. That's fine. And he wins, and that's game. That one might get deleted. Next tournament.